Today, we're diving deep into the shadows to uncover the stories that have terrified generations. From a phantom in the mirror to a ghostly passenger who never leaves, these three legends have persisted for a reason. They tap into our deepest fears and make us question the very fabric of our reality. First up, a name that's been whispered in front of mirrors in darkened rooms for centuries. Bloody Mary. You know the ritual, right? Say her name 3 times, and she appears. But what if the stories your friends told you at sleepovers were just the beginning? What if the real horror isn't just seeing a ghost, but realizing the mirror itself is the monster? Imagine this. You're standing there, chanting her name, and you notice something's off. The mirror isn't just copying your movements anymore. It's predicting them. You raise your hand, but your reflection's hand is already up. A cold dread washes over you. You try to laugh it off, a nervous tremor in your voice, but your reflection doesn't laugh. It just smiles. Witnesses who dared to stay too long, staring into that silvered glass, all reported seeing the exact same chilling smile. It wasn't a reflection of their own fear. It was something else's amusement. Then, the whispers start. But this isn't just random noise. The whisper knows things. It knows your childhood nickname, the one you haven't heard in 20 years. It knows your secret fears. The terror escalates when you realize your own reflection isn't yours anymore. You stare, unblinking, into its eyes, determined not to look away first. But then, the reflection blinks, and you didn't. The strangeness doesn't end when you flee the room. People who have encountered this phenomenon report that cracks begin to appear on the mirror's surface, but only after the clock strikes midnight. They spread like dark veins across the glass, mapping out a future you don't want to see. You think, I'll just cover it up. No one can cover the mirror. Even if you throw a heavy blanket over it, the glass fogs up from beneath, as if something is breathing on it from the other side. Naturally, people tried to capture proof. They set up security cameras, motion detectors, everything you can think of, but the cameras never recorded what people saw. On the footage, you just see a person staring, terrified, at their own ordinary reflection. The ghost, the smile, the whispers, they exist only for the person looking in. It leads to a horrifying conclusion, a thought more frightening than any ghost. Maybe the mirror wasn't haunted by a spirit trapped inside. Maybe the mirror wasn't haunted at all. It was just waiting for the right person to look in so it could finally have a face of its own. Now, let's leave the confines of the bathroom and travel to the water's edge, where a lament has echoed through the night for centuries. We're talking about La Llorona, the crying river woman. The legend is known throughout the world, a grief-stricken mother, eternally searching for the children she lost. Her mournful cries are a warning to all who hear them to stay away from the water. But what if her cries aren't a warning? What if there is summons? Locals living near these haunted rivers tell stories that go far beyond the classic tale. They say that on certain nights, the eerie crying would suddenly stop. The silence was even more terrifying than the sound, because it only happened when the local children, drawn by a morbid curiosity, answered back into the darkness. They'd call out, "What's wrong?" and the night would fall utterly still. The next morning, a child would be missing. The strangeness wasn't contained to the riverbank. Wet, child-sized footprints would appear miles from any water source, leading up to the front doors of family homes, sometimes even appearing inside, on the floorboards of a child's bedroom. Families would live in constant fear. Parents reported their children having recurring nightmares, night after night, and every dream ended the same way, underwater, looking up at a blurry, weeping face. The entity seemed to possess an unnatural knowledge. When it called out from the darkness, it wasn't just a general cry for Miss He. The voice called children by their family names, whispering their secret pet names that only a mother would know. The natural world itself seemed to recoil from her presence. Animals, from the cattle in the fields to the family dog, would refuse to drink from the river, whining and backing away from the water's edge as if it were poisoned. The river itself behaved unnaturally. On clear, cloudless nights, the water level would rise without any rain, surging over its banks as if being displaced by something massive and unseen beneath the surface. It was as if the river was an accomplice in her sorrow. This led to a terrifying reinterpretation of the legend. Maybe the ghost wasn't searching for the children she had lost. Maybe, after centuries of loneliness, she was gathering new ones. The most disturbing accounts come from the few children who were found wandering, dazed and confused, after being missing for a day. They couldn't explain where they had been, but they spoke of a chilling, impossible memory. Some children remembered drowning, They described the cold, the darkness, the feeling of water filling their lungs. Before it ever happened, they had a memory of a future that, thankfully, they managed to escape. La Llorona isn't just a sad story. She's a living, breathing nightmare that walks the riverbanks. And she's not just crying, she's calling. For our final story, we get behind the wheel. It's a dark and stormy night, and you're driving down a lonely stretch of highway. You see a figure on the side of the road, drenched and forlorn. You're a good person, so you pull over to help. This is the setup for one of the most widespread urban legends of all time, the vanishing hitchhiker. But what if the horror isn't that she vanishes from your car? What if the real terror is that she never truly leaves? Drivers who have had this encounter share details that will make the hair on your arm stand up. After dropping off the mysterious passenger, or more often, arriving at the destination to find her gone, they get out of the car. But when they touch the back seat where she was sitting, it's still warm. A residual heat that logic can't explain. They try to shake it off, go inside, and lock the car. But later, from the house, they hear music playing. The car radio has turned on by itself, tuned to a station playing a forgotten, melancholic song from decades past. The signs become more invasive. They'll wake up in the morning to find the car windows fogged over. And on the inside of the glass, there are handprints, small, delicate handprints, as if someone was trapped inside, trying to get out, or perhaps trying to get their attention. The Good Samaritan, now thoroughly creeped out, often tries to find the address the passenger gave them. They want answers, closure, but they discover the house doesn't exist. The street number is gone, or the entire address has been wiped from modern maps, a place that exists only in memory. But the hitchhiker's presence isn't confined to the car. The smell of rain, of damp earth and ozone, follows every driver home. They'll smell it in their closet, in the hallway, even when the sun is shining outside. It's a constant, sensory reminder of their spectral passenger. When they are near their car, even when it's visibly empty, they hear things. The soft echo of footsteps on the gravel nearby, the gentle click of a door that was never opened. You see, the classic story always ends with the hitchhiker disappearing. But these accounts suggest something far more sinister. She never asked to be dropped off at a specific place. She just gave an address, a destination. And when you arrive, she's gone from the car. Yes, but that's because she reached her destination. She didn't disappear, she stayed with you. The car, the house, the driver, they are her new home. She is the passenger who never left. From the haunted mirror, to the weeping river, to the phantom passenger. These stories prey on our most basic fears, the fear of what lurks in our own reflection. They've been told and retold, changing with each generation, but their terrifying core remains the same. They remind us that some legends feel real because, just maybe, they are. What do you think? Have you ever had an experience you couldn't explain? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the dark, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the unknown. Stay safe out there.